So earlier today, I tried a live Facebook video event, and while it looked simple enough, and I saw a button that said share screen, once I hit go live, it went away, and then I had trouble finding it. So that was kind of critical for this conversation, so I could show you where to find all of our Ag Day activities that we suggest. So one, I want to thank you for sticking with us and coming back to watch this better prepared video where I can share my screen. I want to thank all of our sponsors for the Kentucky Ag and Environment in the Classroom. The Kentucky Ag Development Fund provides about 40% of our funding, and then we could definitely not do what we do without our larger sponsors, such as the Kentucky Department of Agriculture, Kentucky Soybean Board, Kentucky Pork Producers, and many others. So thank you all so much for helping us teach Kentucky Ag. So March 19th, that's a Tuesday, is National Ag Day. So this has become a nationwide promotion effort to bring awareness about what our farmers do and just the impact that agriculture has on our everyday lives. Now, our hope is that you will bring agriculture into your classroom on a regular basis. I have to brag on the elementary schools that have agriculture as a special area, or their STEM teachers bring in agriculture regularly. We love that. And of course, we know that many of our teachers have farm connections and they try to use agriculture in their classroom as much as they can. Now, we try to help you all do that by pairing up our activities to the Kentucky Academic Standards. So if you are required to teach those, we make sure to list those with all of our activities. And we have so many lessons for all different grade levels, K through 12. And you can look lessons up by grade level and by standard. And some of our lessons will hit many, many standards. Well, I am going to say you only have a short period of time that you're willing to give to agriculture. So we hope National Ag Day is the day you will do that. So I am going to share my screen and show you some quick activities that you can do. So here is our website. I did a short workshop last month on just navigating our website, but if you hit programs and lessons and then curriculum, at the very top, there's a link that says get ready for National Ag Day. So this is where you're going to find some short activities and lessons to just share with your students the importance of agriculture and how their community contributes. So right there at the top, we've got some quick suggestions. The Kentucky Farms Feed Me virtual field trip series is the easiest thing to bring into your classroom. Of course, there are several videos. So if you have the time to watch them, that would be awesome. Or you could pick one. But I'm going to suggest that you actually break your students up into groups and let them watch one video and maybe do some further research on the crop or the commodity they learned about, and then report back to the rest of the class. But if you have just 5 minutes and want to give a general overview of Kentucky agriculture, this is the video to show. We made this several years ago, but the information hasn't changed. It gives a little history about Kentucky agriculture, even talking about what the Native Americans grew on this land, what the settlers brought with them, and then how agriculture has changed. And also it talks a little bit about the different regions of Kentucky. Now, the Census of Agriculture for 2022 was just released last month, and we have some new figures for livestock sales, the number of farms. So I would encourage your students to learn, the snapshot of agriculture, but then learn about what is in your county. So there's two places to do that. This Kentucky Food and Farm website was developed for secondary students. So here are all of the quick facts. So this might be a little overwhelming for our elementary students, but maybe your fourth and fifth graders would enjoy looking at this website. So we've got some rankings, how many farms and farmers. This has been updated with the latest census information. There's also some additional information here and a story about how agriculture is evolving here in Kentucky. So your older students, have them look around to learn more about agriculture. But say we want to learn about agriculture in our county where we live. So we're going to click up in this top menu, County Ag Data. Now, unfortunately, I'm just going to click on Adair County. Unfortunately, these sheets, these kind of snapshot county profiles for the 2022 Census of Agriculture will not be ready until the end of this month. So we are not able to update those quite yet. But it still gives a snapshot of the number of farms, the land in farms, how the average size of a farm. It gives, the sales in terms of the different crops. It even ranks them in the state. How does Adair County compare to other counties in tobacco production? Well, it's 30th. It's 18th in hay. It's 3rd in milk from cows, producing milk. So this kind of gives you, a snapshot about your county. And then we also provide some farm profiles about different farms. Now we have a lot of dairies on our page because the Department of Agriculture did a great job in showcasing the dairy farms a couple years ago. That could be another great activity, is to have your students connect with local farmers and then have them write a informational profile about that farmer and then share it with us at jennifer@teachkyag.org, and we can put it up on our website. So before I leave here, I also want to share that your students, your older students, especially if they're an FFA and are giving speeches, they can come to this website for research. We've recently expanded it to provide help for our farmers, meeting more of our farmers. So any of the farmers that are in the news that have accomplished big things, we showcase here. Where to go for farming help, all the organizations and programs that are available. But then if you come down and click on animal agriculture, that's where you can learn more about the different livestock. Or you can click on hay and grain crops and learn about these different crops. So that's going to be the second part if you have more time to dedicate toward agriculture. But real quick, I wanted to show you the second link. So if you have elementary students and want to look at county data, this may be a better place to visit because we were able to pull out the most important information. We realized those county profiles produced by the National Ag Statistics Service may be a little overwhelming for our younger students. So we hope that this will help you find the information that you're looking for. They can probably pick out the different data points, especially if they're, 4th and 5th grade. And then we've got some farm profiles here as well. Like I said, we're always looking for new ones. So that is the short way to celebrate National Ag Day. There is a sheet, this Ag Where I Live, I probably should move that up, that they can fill out when they're learning about their county. So they could fill out this worksheet for National Ag Day. It's going to pull up just in a second. So have them answer these questions by looking at that data. We also have a coloring sheet that you can print off. Or here's a worksheet for your primary students, just things they may see on a Kentucky farm. So just connections about what farming brings to us, things they may see. So that would be a super easy thing to do. I'm going to scroll back down. Now, if your students, if you have older students and they want to look at the new census data for each of their counties, I do have this linked here. You can go to the county summary highlights. And because the data that they provide does not fit on a single piece of paper, it does, there is a second part of each of these pages for each of the counties. So you'll see here's Kentucky in this first column, and then you'll have a page with several counties, and they are in alphabetical order. So you can see now that Adair still has over 1,000 farms. You know, there's some monetary information. There's 142,000 acres in farms in Adair County. And then if you scroll down, you can see the sales value from the different livestock and crops. Now, what you'll see on that second page, if you go to about page 19, you'll see the second part for this is when the counties start back again. So you've just got a few more things that they need to show for each of those counties. So that starts on page 19 of this document. So that way they can see what kind of the data looks like before it's been turned into a pretty summary document, and they could make their own poster with this information. And they could see what it's like to be to be me and share this type of information with all of you all. All right, so we've looked at data, we've watched a short video, we have some worksheet options. If you want to dig a little further, I would suggest this activity. So this is part of My Kentucky Home Provides What I Need. So you could break your students into groups, and each group could look at a different crop or livestock. We have these map worksheets that you can download and print off for your students. So this is just a blank map of Kentucky. All of the counties are listed, and within each group, you would have them look at a different livestock or crop. So they would fill out, these are the top counties for such and such. You could have them watch one of the field trip videos. There is a video for most of our top crops and livestock, but not all. We don't talk about sheep and goats or hay in the videos. But after you put them in groups, you can also download this products data, and you can cut it apart and then give it to the different groups, and they can color in their county. So then you can get a snapshot of where most of the corn is grown in Kentucky, or where most of the soybeans, the hay. Of course, you see, this is where there's 10,000 or more acres dedicated to hay. And there's a bunch of counties because we grow a lot of grass hay here in Kentucky. So you may want to give some of the smaller, so maybe the vegetables and melons, you could pair those with a different one, give them a couple things to look at, just because some of these other ones are going to take quite a bit more time. So have them watch a virtual field trip, give them the data on that commodity so they can fill in a map, have them make a poster about that crop or livestock. Let them do the research. And again, just a reminder, our Kentucky Food and Farm info site has got so much information. Also, within our regular Teach KY Ag workshop, if you go back to that curriculum page and look at topic, so you could click on beef cattle, and there may be some just basic information about those different crops and livestock. So in our background information may share some things. A lot of our posters are here within the site. So if you click on the video field trip, you can find a link that says all about beef cattle. So it's got the poster, life cycle information, top counties, and so on. So this is a great way to let them do some research. So digital literacy. You've got some data. So there's a math connection here. And of course, Ag Day is always a good time just to say, hey, let's just take a minute and think about, you know, how we're able to sustain ourselves through food, who makes that happen. You know, it wasn't that long ago that most people were trying to meet their needs on their own. So they were hunting, they were fishing, they maybe had livestock that they were keeping. They grew a garden, they may have grown some crops. So a lot of people were involved in agriculture. But as cities began to grow and the Industrial Revolution happened and people started moving into cities to have factory type jobs, they were no longer farming. So fewer and fewer people are involved with producing food. And even in the last 25 or so years, we see there's such a gap between generations on the farm and not on the farm, that we've lost a lot of that connection to the land, why it's important, what goes into producing food, what knowledge you have to have, what resources you have to have. And sometimes it's really easy to criticize those making those decisions when we have no involvement in it. But when you really, you know, take a look to say, hey, you know, what are farmers up against? You know, they've got the weather that they can't control, markets, finicky consumers. We change our minds so quickly about what we like and what we don't like, what we think's nutritious and what's not nutritious. So all of that impacts our food system. And we just want more people to be aware, to be appreciative, to kind of understand what happens, and also be better informed consumers, and then encourage your young people to get involved in agriculture. It's a great place to be. It's a family atmosphere. I absolutely love working in agriculture, and I think it's a great place for a lot of folks. So I hope that helps you all plan your National Ag Day activities. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. You can send me an email at jennifer@teachkyag.org if you're looking for something specific and can't find it on our website. We will help you do that. So again, thanks for tuning in, and until next time.